the state first, since they have the burden of proof, and then I'll let you hear.
Judge, I believe that the
question.
legal definition of, unfortunately, reckless driving is actually in the jury instruction.
I think it is too.
I think all we can do is refer them to that page, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion. Anyway, I don't have my copy, and they took my copy of the final charge back with them. Do you have your copy?
I do, Judge.
Mr. Baker, you have something?
I do, Judge, and I can, if you'd like to take a brief recess, I can get you the case law on it. It's our appellate courts have repeatedly held speed alone is not reckless driving. You have to have something additional to that, but I don't know that we can give any additional information to the jury on that. So I'm like the general, I don't know. I know it would probably be helpful to give that to them, but I don't know that we could give that to them at this point since they've already been charged and we'd give them a definition.
We have a jury question. They asked what the definition of reckless driving was. I don't think they can answer this question. I think what the lawyer said was right. The prosecutor said that the definition is actually included in the jury charge, and that should just base it off that. But question was, what is the legal definition of reckless driving? And I apologize. I can go back and replay the actual question here in just a moment. I actually hit the live button, and I was live on my computer, at least, before it started reading it, but I forgot to hit the live button, the second one, which I normally have turned off. It normally just defaults to live, so sorry about that.
Well, the definition of reckless driving and the instructions on the law on reckless driving are given on page 12 of these instructions. And basically, at that point, it states the legal definition of or the elements that are required to be proven. It also defines to constitute willful disregard for the safety of a person. It doesn't mention speed, but it does clearly define that the offense of reckless driving according to statute. And I tend to agree that with both counsel and Mr. Baker is correct that to go outside of that, it would seem to me to be inappropriate to try to give them an additional definition of reckless driving that includes some sort of element of speed. So I am of the opinion that the only thing I can do is tell them, bring them back in and tell them that the definition of reckless driving that the law permits is set forth in their instructions, and that those are the instructions they must follow. So is there anything, I don't see the need to submit that in an additional written form. I'm just inclined to point that out to them on page 12 of these instructions. Anything else?
No, Judge, I think that's right.
Bring the jury in.
Okay, so the jury asked a question about what the legal definition of reckless driving was, specifically relating to speed, if that was an element. Interesting fact about this, the second charge is a reckless driving one, which means that they've gotten through the first one already. Now, because we had such discussion about the individual charges, and if you go with one, you just don't blanket go with the other two. They're figuring out each one on its own element, on its own merits, based on the evidence they've heard. So that it's not really an indication of them finding a not guilty on the first charge and guilty on the second, or they're still determining the second. It could be a guilty on the first, and they're still just deliberating on the merits of this charge itself to see if that one qualifies as well. And yes, she hit a pole at about 60 miles an hour is what they calculated. While the jury's coming in, I just have to say, Janice, congratulations on winning the internet. You were
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been handed a question that's been submitted by one of your number. It says, what is the legal definition of reckless driving as it relates to speed, parentheses, miles per hour? Ladies and gentlemen, I have given you the legal definition, the only definition of reckless driving that the law allows, and that is set forth on page 12 of those final instructions. And that is for you to, and it sets forth the elements of reckless driving as well as what constitutes those elements or the definition the law gives. And that is that any person who commits the offense of reckless driving is guilty of a crime. For you to find the defendant guilty of this offense, the state must have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant drove a vehicle in willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property. To constitute willful disregard for the safety of persons or property, there must be a design purpose, an intent to do the wrong, while to constitute wanton disregard, the property doing the act or failure to act must be conscious of his conduct, and though having no intent to injure, must be conscious from his knowledge of surrounding circumstances and existing conduct that his conduct may naturally or probably result in injury. That's the legal definition of reckless driving. There is no other definition having to do with speed, and that is the definition that you must apply in this case. I hope that has answered your question, and we'll allow you to return and begin deliberations again. We will again stand in recess pending the return of the jury.
Okay, so we're going to rest one more time. I think once they solve, let's see. I think once they solve this issue,
my copy is the final charge draft number 1, which we made a couple of changes to. So I'll give you that.
Once they solve this issue, I think it's going to be very quick. It's just going to be filling out the verdict forms. Judge leaves the bench. Bailiff turns off the sound. They left the Heavenly Wood view. I think the bailiff's going to change that on us. Yeah. He likes to push these buttons. Don't kill the live stream, whatever you do. Bailiff, don't do it, don't do it. Don't you dare sit in the judge's chair. Oh, he's got the remote. He's got the remote. He made us stand in the corner and look at the wall. Apparently we're being punished. All right, so we can't actually, we can't read into this question really anything other than they've already worked through the first one, which is the big one. But we don't know if they've come to a conclusion of guilt or not guilty on the first charge. We just know that they're at the second one, and they're hung up on the speed issue. Speed was something that was brought up a lot during the trial, specifically 60 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, double the speed limit. And the way the evidence was laid out, the prosecution said that yes, it's reckless. You know it's reckless because she was driving faster than the car could handle it, and that she was willfully do it. The problem they might run into is that they say that she had to be knowingly creating that situation, and she doesn't know. At least she doesn't recall. If she was drunk, is that an exception? Is that an excuse in Tennessee to say, "Hey, I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing"? I don't know if alcohol or inebriation of some way will let her get out of that reckless charge. But it won't matter if they've convicted her on the first one, because that is the higher charge anyway. The reckless while intoxicated, vehicular homicide while intoxicated. So we'll sit tight for just a little bit. I'm thinking we'll give it 10 or 15 minutes and see if we get a response from the jury here. All right. The hearing, K-Rab says, the hearing for Owens and Eckhart is likely to be only about attorney's fees. In her depo, she admitted she lied, and the ultra RA's sound was falsified. I think you said ultrasound was falsified. Christine, thank you. You let me yell the chat. Christine, I'm not sure what that meant, but you're welcome. You're welcome. Congratulations on 7 months. Thank you very much, Christine. Appreciate that. And Janice, our internet owner for the day. Janice, don't think that this win is any less than any other win. The official, I think the acronym is, it's Mario. The mostly accepted, what was the R for? Mostly accepted rules of internet ownership is what it is, Mario. It says that the internet can be regifted one time, that the original winner can regift it, and that regifting is as valid as if the receiver was the initial winner. So you have now officially won the internet, being first in chat. So congratulations, Janice. If you want to commemorate your win of us sentencing you with internet ownership for the rest of the day, at least until we go live again, you can pay the 50-cent fine over on the merchandise page and download your own copy of fill-in-the-blank certificate of internet ownership. That's wonderful. Jam Jam, welcome to the gallery. Second month there. Thank you so much. Hashtag victims matter. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your support. Amber C says, woohoo, I've officially made it to Yellow Courthouse. There it is. Amber C, I've got you. Wonderful. 6 months. Time flies when you're having fun. It's really cool. I'm only just slightly nervous about this weekend. I haven't heard back from the conference center. Might not get until 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, and then if my cables don't work, if it's not set up to work right, I don't know what I'll do. For those who don't know, if you are on an iOS device, Super Chats are duplicating and spewing random text, says K-Rab. Just heads up, the internet is broken. Janice, this is on you. You just won. You thought you're going to have an easy afternoon with it being Friday, but yeah, apparently they're broken. If you can get right on that, that would be great for the rest of us. Kate Scarpetta, thank you for all you do. Love it here. 10 months. Thank you very much for your support. It's been a wonderful 10 months. Wouldn't be the same without you. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so let's see what to do now. 6 a.m. on a time change weekend. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Had I thought this through a little more clearly, I would have said no on the job, I think, just on the time zone switch on its own, the time change on its own. So yeah, it will feel like 5 a.m. that I'm there, working my butt off, getting things set up, hauling in electronics, setting up tripods, running cables, setting up wireless links. Yeah, but tonight, as soon as we get a verdict and we wrap up here, I'm going to be tearing apart the studio here, because a lot of this stuff that we have, here on the desk, a lot of this is coming with me. Camera, tripod, switcher, cables, all the cables. I'm going to have this as a spare, even though I've got another sound system just in case. Don't need the lights, but the Stream Deck's going, laptops, both of them. Yeah, everything else is boxed up and ready to go, other than my microphone stands that are in the corner right there. You see those? I need those three stands. The fork that I just dropped out of my can of tuna fish is not going. Do you have enough cables? Amy? I bought an extra 5 HDMI cables, so I think that I have enough now. I think it was 17 cables, 17 HDMI cables. And that's not even included the SDI ones, because we've got my camera outputs SDI, and to get the distance from where I want to be from the camera, I have to run it in SDI instead of HDMI. So, and that requires the use of one of these nifty little Blackmagic bidirectional SDI HDMI converters, which also requires power and an HDMI cable as well. So I think I have everything. OG Sean White wanted to say hello to yourself, Sean. Hello yourself and see how you like it. That's what my grandpa used to say. Gossip Rumor Innuendo, Kathy says, I'm always up at 5. You need help. Kathy, you're not just up at 5, but you are up and energetic, and you have a live stream loaded, a video loaded, and a one-take wonder video loaded. I know you don't edit those. You just sit down and just do it, which is impressive. Thank you. Finishing up my first trimester as a member. Where's my phone? Oh, I need to plug it in so you guys can hear it. Hang on one second. Hello, Denise. Denise, this is RA. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm I'm good. How are you? Other than nervous about the whole weekend thing.
Oh, I've got like an ulcer forming right now. But that's good. It will keep me on my toes. It'll make me perform at the top of my game.
Good. There you go. Just remember to go to bed early.
That's not going to happen though, because I'm going to be up and be like, just one more time. I just need to count the cables one more time. Make sure I have all the, measure the gaff tape. So I've got the rolls of gaff tape, everything lined up. I have to, in my head, I've got to connect every single piece and go through it. And I'm short 2 TVs. I need 4 TVs for what we're doing, and I've only got 2. So I think I've sourced 2 spare TVs.
I hope so. I'm sure you have.
Extension cords. I need extension cords, a ton of them. So.
Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of throw this out there.
Yeah.
Since I'm driving home and don't want you to go off the air because I need to hear a verdict. So 2 totally different cases, right? You did this one that was just this week, right?
Yep. It's our second verdict this week.
Yeah. And Brandy's case was just this week. And we had a verdict earlier today. Both cases were in Tennessee, 2 different counties. One was the death of a child with 6 counts.
Yeah.
And then there was this one was it just 2 counts or 3?
This one has 3 charges, but
Okay.
2 of them are the death charges. So it's going to be one or the other is what the court's going to rule on. So if they say guilty on all 3, well, it's the top one. It is going to bundle up to the top one. That's going to be the only charge. It's the others are included. They're lesser included. But the way they wrote them is like that.
Okay. I missed that part today because I was over at Brandy's for verdict on that case.
Yeah.
But it's funny, same state, different counties. Both are, cases that involved death, and both cases were just this week as far as testimony.
Yeah.
And we got a verdict already in one and still waiting on the verdict in the other.
Yeah, I didn't follow Brandy's case. I know it was crazy as well. So it was it a guilty on that one?
On all 6 charges, and the jury was
wait.
in one.
Sorry. People are saying don't spoil it.
Oh, I thought
I asked for that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That was on me.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, the jury was back in 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. It's funny to see the similarities in trials. Chat, I do apologize. Yeah, Denise, that was not your fault. I extracted that from you under pressure. So, I'm under stress. That's why I did it. It's my fault. Sorry. Let's see. It's too late now. Yep, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
I feel so bad. I'm sorry.
Go back and delete that part.
Yeah.
We didn't
Don't
say
listen.
anything.
Don't listen. Okay.
I thought it had been a few hours. Everybody had already.
A lot of people watch that watch Brandy, watch me on the weekend, or watch me during the week and watch Brandy on the weekend. So I deserve that time out.
True.
Mistrial. We're going to declare a mistrial. They're going to have to redo it.
Okay.
All right. On other topics, thank you, Denise. I appreciate that. I'm hopeful
You're
that
welcome.
this last question that was answered by the jury here in this trial, once they found out that speed is not a factor in reckless driving, that we will get a quick answer out of them, because the verdict forms themselves are not very complicated. It's just guilty, not guilty on 3 charges. So.
Right, and it's already after 4 o'clock their time because they're on Central Time, right?
Yes, I believe they are.
Yeah, and I left work at 3 o'clock my time because I'm on Mountain Time. So it's after 4 o'clock their time. Hopefully they'll be getting hungry soon and want to go home for dinner.
Maybe so. It's gonna, it's a weekend, and they've been here for a couple days. They thought that it was going to be done a little sooner than they were expecting. They've already had one delay, so
Yeah. That too. All right. Well, I am going to let you go in case somebody else wants to call.
sounds good. Thanks, Denise. Good talking to you. Appreciate it.
All right.
We'll see you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's see. All right. Let's see. I don't know what the other case is. I haven't followed it. Any update on the Treehouse murder case? We have a hearing next week, Sean, I think it's on the 11th for the Treehouse murder case that should give us the schedule of what's happening going forward. I think that's going to be I think it's the final pretrial hearing. The replies on Twitter to the Raw's alerts are hilarious. They're really good. All right. All right. Doubt the jury's going to want to come back on Monday. They'll get it done. I think so. I'm just worried about my schedule and availability. John DeLee was sentenced today. So much is happening. This is really like the Super Bowl period of trials. We've got so many things happening. Big cases are moving forward. We've got hearings going on in big cases. Court dates are being set. Major decisions, Supreme Court decisions on state are weighing in on different things. It's nuts. If you can't find something interesting to watch in the world of true crime right now, you might not be a true crime addict. Gunsel Shaley says, why did you decide not to cover James Crumbley's trial, if you don't mind my asking? Not a problem. Great question, actually. We covered the Jennifer Crumbley trial, and the way the facts were laid out, the fact pattern was laid out, it was like rehashing the school shooting over and over and over. It was that was the focus, and it was emotionally draining. It's difficult for the community. I realize we're true crime fanatics, and we talk about murder all day long. But when children are involved, it's just especially painful. And those are cases that we try to take few and far between. Yeah, that's a good saying. So we realize it can be very, very painful. We have a lot of people who have been through situations that have lost a child, or are going through all sorts of. It becomes tough for our little community here to cover, and so that one was one that was really difficult. The facts that are laid out were very jarring, were very harsh. It hurts your soul to hear them. Okay, that's what it was. So we followed Jennifer Crumbley. I did enjoy a lot of things of that trial. Obviously, we had the sorry counter that made it in the closings of that case. So that was unique and fun. I still look forward to speaking to Shannon, the attorney. I'm hoping I get a chance to do that once the James Crumbley's trial is over and the gag order is lifted. We'll see if we can reach out and see if we can connect that way. But so we're not covering the James Crumbley trial. I think Kurt from Uncivil Law is covering that one. What is Brandy's channel? Brandy's channel is, if you type this command, it pops up like this. Well, it should anyway. Oh, only the mods can do it. That's why. Brandy Churchwell. It's spelled with an I. Brandi. And she has a channel here on YouTube that's she follows true crime cases, and she's really good at it. She's really good at taking data, cases that are heavy with data or heavy with facts and timelines, and sort of some of the monotonous stuff that it means something, but it's a lot of sifting through and sorting and matching up and lining up to get the data out. She's good at doing that, and she can put it in a chart that will explain everything in a moment. So we call her the chart lady. Brandy Churchwell, the chart lady, and she has Lucy as well, her dog. That's her channel right over there. If you link to it, there we go. And she's amazing. And she has the 13th Jurors. That's what she calls the community. A lot of crossover between her community and ours, and we love it. It's wonderful. Kim's like, well, if I was a mod, yeah, you could have linked that. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate that. Malinislaw says, I was just watching James' trial, and it's exactly the same trial as Jennifer. I agree. That we have the same prosecutor. We have the same judge. It's in the same, I believe it's in the same courtroom. It's literally the same trial again. And it's tough. A few of the facts that come in will be a little bit different because we're seeing it from a different perspective, from his his involvement instead of her involvement. But Ryan, the chat with the jury asked a question saying, can you give us the legal definition of reckless driving as it pertains to speed? Well, guess what is not referenced in the definition of reckless driving in the state of Tennessee? Speed. Speed is not a factor. So speed has been an issue at trial. It's one of the things that the police were able to ascertain at the scene based on the skid marks or those striations of the skid marks as the tires are skipping across the sidewalk without input from the driver, meaning it's no braking or no acceleration or turning. And so those striations they were able to calculate just under 60 mile an hour. As how fast she was going when she clipped that light pole, and she clipped it just with the right corner, like the front right driver's or passenger side headlight, and it went all the way down the side of the car. And the way it did it hit the car, so the car was like hitting the pole, but then also spinning. So it started a spinning motion. So it sort of, they say it sort of spun around the pole, but it was enough force that just the impact on the pole shook loose the street light, the halogen street light, and it fell down and shattered. And people heard the impact of the car on the pole and then heard the second impact of the light hitting the ground and crashing. Was this Candace?
Yes. Hi, Scott. How are you?
Hey, Candace. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Hey, I am a mod on Brandy's chat. I'm known as True Crime Ranch.
Awesome.
I just wanted to take a second because I know that a lot of your chat watches Brandy.
Yes.
And I wanted to say thank you so much for the giving train today.
That's awesome.
You made me cry. I don't know if you made Brandy cry or not, but I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you to all of your listeners that helped with that giving train.
That is really neat. That is really cool. We are cheering for Brandy. She's amazing. We've liked her from day one. I remember when she was just on Twitter and we were saying, Brandy, you need a YouTube channel. And then we were able to help her get started with a few supporters here that went over there. And of course she was going to blow up anyway. We just happened to be there early on and get to go along for the ride. But she's amazing. She loves what she does. I can tell you she's authentic. She's real. She's fun. She's been dealt a tough hand. And she's working through it as best she can with health and everything, and the generosity of many people it gives her hope and brightens her day, and that's just amazing to see. I mean that's what we're about. We love people helping people. So
right. So I just want to take an opportunity to say thank you to all the viewers that bless us both in your chat and in Brandy's chat, and thank you so much. You made our day.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Indy Cindy says, I'm a 13th juror in recovery. Love it, Indy City. Thank you so much. Appreciate the super chat as well. Many of us. I mean, I'm also a member over on Brandy's channel and love it. I try to pop in as much as I can. Brandy's almost at 16,000 subs. I can't wait for her to... I know this is funny because literally our channel is about recovery. But I can't wait for her to add another cork in her jar of corks to celebrate different milestones she reaches on this journey, which is wonderful. I love seeing her date a cork with a little moment and pop it in that jar. That is really cool. All right, Mindy says, sent you an email. I've got a couple emails. I'm way behind on this. Let's see. People are sending me reminders about what to take. Power strips, extension cords. Okay. Let's see. I've got so many. I'm so far behind you guys. This is I'm shameful about this. Oh no, my accountant says she hasn't got her documents. Great. I get to do taxes again tonight as well. So that's fun. I was there when she popped the 1,000 sub quirk. That's neat. No verdict yet, Taylor. We had one question that the jury asked, but the question was about charge number 2. And they have to do them in order, which means they're halfway through. At that point, they were halfway through the charges. And the last charge, I would say, is probably the easiest one. And that is, was she driving while intoxicated under the legal limit? And I think that is the slam dunk start charge. So if they can get through this, we might have a verdict here in moments. They had the question right about 2:30. I need a secretary to give you the messages that's relevant. I need to clone myself. Hang on.
Okay, while we're doing taxes stuff, I'm just going to throw out something that needs to be addressed and just can't ever be because he's always in here. You a long time ago, they said, hey, do your kids want to go to this dance? And if they do, they need to be registered. And who's going to drive them? And I said, well, probably Scott, because that's far away and in the dark and I don't want to. And somebody saw that list and said, would you be willing to chaperone since you're coming anyway? And I think I forgot to mention that you're going at all. So I'm just putting that out there. They are now asking you to chaperone.
So while I am supposed to be elbows deep replacing the sewer lines in our bathroom, I'm going to be chaperoning a dance halfway across the state. Is that what I'm hearing? Yay. Yay.
I'll drive. It's fine. You stay here.
No. I'm going. I'm committed at this point. Get me out of that. Oh, yeah. I was surprised. I saw that text saying, hey, I see you're on the list for going. You want a chaperone? I don't even know where it is. I mean, it could be in Charlotte.
It's kind of far away. That's why
Where is it?
I think it's in Goldsboro.
Well, that's only like an hour or so. That's like a trip to the grocery store. An hour is like a grocery store. Crazy Cat Queen, you're late. You missed the question from the jury, but that's all right. It's all right. We don't have a verdict yet. She tells you that in front of us as witnesses. Yeah, so I can't do anything about it. I have to smile and be like, thanks, love. Yeah, I got the text earlier and I already said, all right, where is it at again? I forgot where it's at. Mrs. R.A., she has a mic. She does. Thanks to your generous donations, she has a mic. It's right here. It looks exactly like mine, only mine has a cord on the back because I've taken the cord off because I'm going to use it at the gig that I'm going to. So it's put away right now. All right. That's far, an hour drive. Love Bug, I would say before I moved to North Carolina, an hour was a long drive. But time and distance has changed for me since I've been out here because now I live like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from anything. And I'm a geographical anomaly. Name that movie. Not you. I know you got it. But, well, ain't this just a geographical anomaly? 2 hours away from everything. Miss Zara is funny. Do you guys know that movie? If you know that movie, you're officially cool.
If they can guess it, then will you sing it?
If they can guess it, will I sing what?
The song with the movie.
You guys, that would be lay bad television is what that would be. It's not Spaceballs. Close. Good guess, I would say. Comb the desert for more answers. That is a Spaceballs reference. Weston Law, SLF. Yes, I'm in Greenville, North Carolina. Howard the Duck. Don't know that one. Weird Science. No.
Wow.
It's going to be 3 hours. I missed what you said. The quote is... Mrs. Solo got it. The quote is, well, ain't this a geographical anomaly? 2 hours from everywhere. It's from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The one that goes, I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. That one. It's a good song. It's a really, the whole movie is good.
Nope.
It's right up there in the list. Napoleon Dynamite, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, and Monty Python and the Holy Grail are the 4 movies that you have to watch in order to be cool. We thought you was a toad. Yeah, great. The whole movie's just quotable. Any line you can just, I'm a Dapper Dan man. Yeah, any line you can just extract and use in everyday conversation. George Clooney is amazing in that movie. I really think it was good. Chaperone a dance. I look forward to your observations. I will not be demonstrating any dancing at all. Maybe I can live stream my chaperone. No, I couldn't because there'll be like copyright music constantly through it. Mrs. R.A. wants her microphone back. Yeah, one more time.
Ooh, guys, you didn't see it, but that was a look. He was like, one more time. Okay, this is just an interesting fact that when George Clooney did Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, he had a... Oh, thanks. When he did that movie, he had an uncle who had just exactly the right accent. And so he sent the whole script to his uncle, and his uncle... Oh, I was being quiet so Scott could talk, but I'm the one with the mic. So his uncle read the entire script to him. And so when it's time to act it out, he memorizes the script based on what his uncle has done on the audio recording, and then it's done. Well, the director or the writer, whoever it was like, how come you changed everything? And he was like, what? I didn't change anything. I did it exactly as written. And his uncle had looked at the script and said, there are way too many swear words in there, and he took them all out. And so George Clooney was just repeating what his uncle said, and there were no swear words. He cleaned that thing right up.
Fun truth. We have Welsh Lady on the phone. Welsh Lady, thank you for the call. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you, Scott. I'm not too bad. How are you? Hello, chat.
We're doing great. We're doing just great. We wish we'd have a verdict, but we're approaching 3 hours here.
Oh, yes, I know. I thought it'd be back before now, but listen, I had to give you a ring, right? Because you just keep ignoring me. You'd have listened to your messages, too.
I went through and I listened to all my voicemail messages, and I don't have one from you.
But not mine. Really?
Really?
I was on for cameras and everything, and you would have loved my comments because you would have heard me saying about how, oh my gosh, you could have done such a good job. It was about that photographer with his pic. Oh, he'd enhanced it via an iPhone.
So
from Rust.
From Rust. This was, you left the message on my burner phone?
On your burner phone, yeah. Yeah, because I tried to get through 3 times, and I thought he just doesn't want to talk to me anymore. And then I thought, right, and then it said leave a message. So I thought, right, I'll leave you a message. So I did. And my message was like, oh my gosh, my eyes are bleeding because the difference between both of them was just nothing. They were both blued. Mm-hmm. And the gunman would get the jewelry thing. But anyway, right? I let that one go for now, Scott, because I think a lot of you, right? So I think a lot of you. I'm having a few migraines, right?
Oh,
so I have been I've been in chat. Oh, don't be daft. We all got things going on, right? But I've been in chat and I've been messaging here and there. But hello, chat. I just want to say if I haven't caught your message, I'm so sorry. But I've been in and out, basically. But you just brought something up to me and brought memories back to me.
Lady.
Yeah.
Court's back. Court's back. We might have a verdict. So talk quickly.
Bugger.
You've got 30 seconds.
Okay. It was oh, brother, where art thou? I know all the words to every song in that. I know it all. Aye, ole, aye, ole, oh, you. Come on, Scott, sing with me.
I cannot yodel.
I can't yodelizer. I don't know what that sound is. Right, we go for get verdict music. Yesterday we missed verdict music or whatever day it was. So I'm going to get off the phone and tell you that is one of my favourite films ever, seriously now. And we'll have verdict music, all right? I'm going to dance in my wheelchair, all right?
All right.
I think the world of you. Hello, Mrs. R.A. Blow kisses for her. Much love.
Thank you.
Bye, Chad. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness. I think what happened is she left a message on the burner phone and Google Voice listened to it and just said, I can't translate that. I cannot translate that. The accent is so great. Oh, great. Wonderful. Okay. Do we think it's a verdict? Are we ready to play some music? Or do we think it's another question? Do I dare call it? Because if it's a verdict, yeah, let's do it. I believe we have a verdict. This judge gives no warning. Everyone's standing for the jury right now. They would have read it as a question if it was. So I believe right now in this trial in Tennessee, Judge Wolf has a verdict from the jury after 3 hours of deliberation in this DUI vehicular manslaughter case where the defendant is charged with killing her fiance.
We have everyone back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told that you've been able to reach a verdict. If you have, well, I guess we haven't got everybody back. So.
As we wait for the last defendant. This has been a tough case to listen to. The defendant had a .161 blood alcohol content.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I understand correctly, you've been able to reach a verdict. Is that correct? All right. Would the foreman or forelady please stand? As to count one of the indictment on the charge of vehicular homicide by intoxication, how does the jury find? Not guilty or guilty?
We find not guilty.
As to the lesser included offense under count one of driving under the influence, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Whoa.
Count two of the indictment as to the charge of vehicular homicide by recklessness, how do you find the defendant not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
As to the lesser included offense of reckless homicide, how do you find guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
As to the lesser included offense criminally negligent homicide, how do you find not guilty or guilty?
Guilty.
In count three of the indictment as to the charge of driving under the influence, how do you find the jury? How does the jury find the defendant rather guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right, so that if I may make sure that I'm correct about this then, on count one, the defendant has been found guilty by you of the lesser included offense of driving under the influence. On count two, the jury has found the defendant guilty of criminally negligent homicide. And on count three, the jury has found the defendant guilty of driving under the influence. Am I correct? Ladies and gentlemen, is this the unanimous verdict of all of you? If you will, signify by raising your right hand. Let the record reflect that it is the unanimous verdict of the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you've worked hard on this case. Thank you for your attention on the matter and for giving it your time and efforts. We'll talk about whether or not do we have plenty of
I don't even know what to say here.
We're going to excuse you from any further jury service during this term because you've spent 3 days of your life down here. So I know that was something I promised I probably couldn't do, but I think under the circumstances, 3 days are sufficient. So you will be released from any, well, one of you has been requested to be kept on, but it's not her. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you will go with Officer Howell, he'll let you get your items and help you be escorted from the road. Thank you for your time.
I don't even understand what just happened. She was found guilty of criminally negligent homicide.
Right.
Found guilty of DUI, but not
The
vehicular
jury having
homicide
found the defendant
by
guilty
DUI.
of 3 different offenses, the court will need to set a sentencing hearing. We'll order a pre-sentence report. We have a criminal docket on in June. Will that be sufficient time?
Yes, Judge, we'll waive the 45 days, Your Honor.
On the 5th of on the 5th of June, I show that we have Paul Garrett motions in the child rape case, and then the 6th that carries over. So let's set this for the 6th of June.
Yeah, we're going to skip that one.
Judge, and I apologize. I have a rape trial with Judge Wallace in Waverly that, my understanding, it is going to go.
Tennessee, what is wrong with y'all?
It's fairly old.
All right, what about the 10th of May?
I'm good to go for that, Your Honor. Tenth of May works for us, Your Honor.
I've got it. I've got the 10th open, Judge.
Pardon?
10th of May.
10th of May. I have motions in the State versus Sarah Fuson, which is that Montgomery County case that I've been assigned to hear, but they're here in Charlotte, so we should be able to do them. Let's set the sentencing for 9 o'clock, and then we'll go from there. All right. That will conclude our business before the court for today, and she will be allowed to be released on bond pending that sentencing hearing.
Not remanded.
Anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge.
All right, we stand adjourned.
All rise. This court is now adjourned.
And that is why you fight the charges, apparently. Wow. We were 90% on the guilty. I thought that it was such a done deal. I thought it was such a done deal that I didn't even worry about the lesser includeds. And apparently the jury, the original charges, I don't remember him reading the lesser includeds. Did he read those in the jury instructions? Let me see here. The initial charges, we had 3. So on 1 was vehicular homicide by intoxication. On that, they found not guilty on that part, but guilty on the driving under the influence. And then count 2, vehicular homicide by reckless driving, they found her guilty of criminally negligent homicide. And then on count 3, driving under the influence, they found her guilty. So they believe she was drunk, but don't believe that her being drunk caused the accident, which is crazy. Wow. I've never seen something like that. A possible sympathy verdict. Guilty on all 3 offenses, but only of lesser includeds. I'll have to go back and replay this sometime when I'm not dying to dash out the door. But I'm going to change this to verdict because we have one, so everyone will know. Edit. What a way to start the weekend. So that changes everything. I'm not sure where it goes from here, actually. So let's see. Hey, this is RA. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, you're speaking with Braxton.
Braxton, how are you doing?
Hello?
Can you not hear me? I don't think you
Can you
hear
not
me.
hear me?
Hello, Braxton. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I was about to hang up on you. I thought there was a bad connection. I'm sorry. I was hovering over the button. I'm like, we'll try this again. We need an attorney to clarify, maybe. That's basically jury nullification. How do you, well, she didn't blow a 161, but her blood came back as a 161 almost 3 hours after the accident. And we know she wasn't drinking during that time. How do you get a .161, double the legal limit, and not be found that the accident where you drove up the sidewalk and crashed into a telephone pole less than a mile from when you got in your car was caused by your intoxication?
I have no idea.
But you do find her guilty of DUI.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I thought she tanked her case when on the stand she said she wasn't drunk. But she didn't remember the crash.
You know how many drunks say they're not drunk? I'm not making light of this, but you can watch dash cam videos for days of people saying, "No, I didn't have anything to drink." You know, drunk people don't think they're drunk. If they thought they were drunk, too drunk to drive, they wouldn't drink. But hey, Braxton, I've got Kurt calling in. Let me see if I can have a lawyer explain this to me because I'm going to need this. So thank you so much.
Sounds great. I need that too.
All right, we'll see
Bye.
you. Bye.
Call from
Uncivil Law. Kurt,
What's
can
up?
you hear me? What just happened?
How you doing, guys? I can hear you fine.
What just happened?
Yeah, the simple answer is that jury's jury, and there's always the random chaos of juries. There's the chance they're going to surprise you both ways, and we've certainly seen, at least in my opinion, cases where juries come back guilty that surprise me, and juries where they come back not guilty that surprise me.
Yeah,
so vehicular homicide is a Class B felony, and criminally negligent homicide is a Class E felony. It's the difference between up to 30 years and the difference between 1 to 6.
Yeah.
So it's huge. It's a huge deal. The upshot is, instead of prison time, where you're talking about serious prison time, you're talking about a very real possibility where she serves essentially little to no time. It's a Class E felony, but essentially a minimal prison sentence. So the jury is really the only answer to that question. They are God and they can do no wrong.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. The judge obviously is going to make the ruling as far as the sentence. So he's probably got some guidelines that can go one way or the other. But he's let her out on. She's been out on bond this whole time. She's not remanded, even though she was found guilty on 3 charges. So people were saying in chat, Tennessee has gone light on these types of crimes in the past. And I don't have all the facts to say that, yes, Tennessee seems to go lighter on DUI and on these types of deaths. But this one surprised me. It caught me off guard, especially when they convict on DUI. It's like, I can't see that. How do you parse the line so finely as to say, yes, she was double the legal limit, .161, but it wasn't the fact that she was drunk that made her drive into the telephone pole. That's 60 miles an hour.
The sentencing guidelines call for 9 months.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you're looking at.
And it could have been 8 to 30.
You're just Yeah, exactly. So how about 9 months instead of 30 years? Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's what the sentencing guidelines recommend. So you can go lower than that, depending on what the judge's inclination is that day.
Wow. I just.
Of course, that's 9 months of prison. That's 9 months of jail time. I should clarify, because the rest would be suspended as probation. But yeah.
Yeah, she can't get any more speeding tickets. She's had 3 or 4 speeding tickets in the few years she's been driving. She was doing 60 and a 30, crashed less than a mile from Oktoberfest, was double the limit. I would say obviously drunk on scene, and the blood work came back. I mean, this wasn't a breathalyzer that you can say, hey, these aren't very accurate. The blood work is fairly accurate. These lawyers need
breathalyzers. The breathalyzers aren't off that much.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not as the field ones aren't as accurate as a blood draw or the ones at the station, but they're not off that much. I mean, it's a big. You're not talking about it's .085, and maybe it's just not, we're not quite sure.
Yeah, but I guess the argument that she can hold her liquor and it doesn't really affect her resonated with this jury. Even though the expert got up there and said, okay, yes, there are some people who understand that it slows down, it makes them stagger and slurs their words, so they talk slower, and they can get around that, and they can walk, change their gait, so they don't appear to be drunk and stumble around as much. But the one thing you can't change, that you can't fake, is the time it takes for you to process and react. And for me, that's like, yeah, that's the nail in the coffin. Because she was driving at 60 miles an hour, which, if anything, would cause her to need to be able to process and react faster, especially on the road she's not familiar with at night, double the speed limit. But apparently, alcohol was not a factor in the crash.
It could just be could be a straight sympathy play, and this is what the Supreme Court of the United States talks about with basically mutually inconsistent verdicts. The jury sometimes reaches these verdicts that seem mutually inconsistent, sometimes logically are inconsistent.
Yeah.
But under our system of government, for better or worse, the United States Supreme Court said, yeah, we're okay with that. The jury reaching completely inconsistent findings is totally fine with us, because we don't know if it was a compromise, we don't know if it's a mercy, we just don't know. So we're just going to take the jury at its word and go from there. So she can have her license. She'll probably have her license suspended for 3 years. So I guess that's something. That's nice. So she won't be able to kill anyone for another 3 years. That's nice.
Or get speeding tickets. But no, this is actually what we wanted. You look back with the country, the founding of the country, we didn't want people in another country far away who didn't understand how our way of life and what we were doing to decide what punishment someone would get when they broke the law. We wanted a jury, a trial by our peers, somebody who was local, and she got that. I mean, we're in Dixon City, Dixon County, Tennessee. She gets a jury of her peers, and they look at these facts, which they looked at them obviously differently than I would have if I had been called to jury duty here in Pitt County, North Carolina. But this is how the system works. So we have to celebrate it and recognize it and say justice served.
I mean, there is always that saying, which I do genuinely believe, that's better for 10 guilty men to go free than one innocent person to go to prison. So if we do have to err, that we erred on the side of mercy, I suppose is the far better outcome. So that's something to feel good about.
Yeah. Crazy. Kurt, thank you so much for the analysis. I feel a little better now. I was a little floored. I'm going to pick up my jaw and let's try to wrap this up. But good talking to you, my friend. Have a fantastic week. Are you you're following the James Crumbly case, right?
Yes, I am, and I'm thinking about covering the Maya stuff later tonight. There was a bar complaint, I understand.
Yeah, some
Is that
pretty
true?
Yes, it's juicy stuff, facts, figures, numbers. I think 1.2 million in fees they want assessed against Jay Hatch.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Well, if someone out there would be so kind as to forward those to me,
if only you knew
Kurt
somebody
at
who had them.
uncivillawllc.com, I'd like them. So I'll cover them tonight. That'll be fun.
Kurt at uncivillawllc.com.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, awesome. I'll put my secretary right on that. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you, Kurt. Bye. Amber, can you help me with something? Amber, you sent. Do you need the one that the Anderson sent to me, or do you have that one already? I think it's already filed. Would you be able to send those to Kurt? That would be great. I'd love to see his take on that. Although I'm gonna have to catch you on the replay. Done. So Amber, done. Thank you. This is why we keep you around, Amber. You're so useful. No, just kidding. Thank you so much. I do really, really appreciate you. All right. With that said, we've found the verdict. It's happened. It's now time for me to go to the convention center. This is date night with my wife tonight. Date night is me praying that the cables I have are the ones that we need for the show this weekend. But there we go. There's the second channel. The second channel is currently showing this right here. I need a quicker button to get rid of everything. I could actually make a macro. I've got 6 macro buttons I've never used. I could do that. Anyway, J Hatch channel is currently showing the interest counter. If you want to watch that over the weekend, let's see, the next big number it hits, I guess, is 3 million. So we've got 10 days, 9 days now before we hit 3 million. I can't see the next. Let's see, 2, 5. Yeah, I don't know if there's a fancy number coming up. Let me know. We like to find them. We watched the 22222 and we watched 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or something like that. But that being said, we are going to wrap it up here. Thank you very much. We have had a lot of fun following this case, even though it's been a little difficult at times. Appreciate those who stayed here. I appreciate those who were considerate of those who, for them, this was a very difficult case. I appreciate that. Thank you. This is what I call the best place to watch true crime, and it's because of you, this amazing community. It would not be the same without you. I appreciate that. Tonight, when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, yours as well. And please stay safe till we go live again Monday morning. We're going to probably do a tiny bit of court hopping while we get lined up with our next cases. We have a couple of hearings we need to see tomorrow or next week with things that are happening, but we've got plenty of fun stuff coming up. So thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.